Welcome to Hollywood. You're just in time to join in on a tour of the cosmos with the best possible tour guide and conscience you can imagine, Arthur C. Clarke. Of course, the man responsible for 2001: A Space Odyssey and now 2010. I said tour guide and conscience because you have taken us to some wild places, but you keep reminding us to stay human all the time.
That's right. Yes, I try to.
It's a double priority, I guess, for you.
I guess the first priority is to stay human.
Yes. Judith Merrill once described science fiction as whirling wheels and soft footfalls of thought. Would you respond to that?
Yes, yes. I think that's quite a good phrase.
Mm-hmm. Do you think a lot of science fiction maybe has forgotten about the soft footfalls of thought?
Well, of course, science fiction covers an enormous spectrum, and there's the hard science fiction. I guess in some ways 2001 was sort of hard science fiction with not much of the human element. At that time, of course, in 1968 when it was released, people didn't realize that space was something that should be taken seriously, and Stanley Kubrick had to spend a lot of time, on the hardware and the realities of space. And of course, there was a lot of gee whiz, this is what the cosmos is like, it's marvelous and strange. And the human element was, reduced. And one of the things I enjoy about the new movie is the humanity of it.
If I could share with you a personal moment, there are two so-called science fiction books that have really shaped my own sense of that nice world. And Starship Troopers is one, Childhood's End is another. And when will we see a film of Childhood's End? Will it happen?
Well, any moment now. It's only 26 years since I sold the option.
26 years?
Thereabouts.
Why is it taking so long?
I don't know. I just don't know. I don't even know who has it now. I think it's Universal's got it at the moment.
It strikes me that many of the same concerns in Childhood's End have surfaced periodically in your work. You are a remarkably consistent man. What are the things that you warn us about most in your work?
Well, I guess stupidity. I mean, the human species is just on the verge of going out into the universe, exploring and certainly colonizing at least the planets of this sun, or you may terminate history in the next minute. We have this tremendous alternative.
We think of space travel as a technological advancement for mankind. 2010, however, seems to be implying that it might also be the means by which we are brought together in the end.
Yes, well, this has happened already to some extent. When men saw those first photographs of the Earth over the lifeless moon, that had a tremendous impact.
No more could we think the Earth is flat.
Exactly. I believe there still are some flat people around.
I've asked you this question before. I will again. Forgive me. If you could hop onto a rocket right now, where would you go?
Well, it depends how fast the rocket was, but let's say to Mars. That's about the nearest place. Well, the moon, is a bit like to an Englishman the Isle of Wight, or Staten Island to a New Yorker. that's just, we know all about that. Mars is the place I'd like to go to.
Were you disappointed when we didn't find green men, Tharks, over there?
Or Martian princesses? Yes, I was rather disappointed. But after all, remember, we've only explored an area of Mars about as big as a football field.
What about the possibilities of extraterrestrial life? I know you're asked about this a lot, but how, in our lifetimes, do you think we might encounter that possibility?
We certainly might, and in fact, the idea developed in 2010 that there might be life in the oceans of Europa beneath the crust of ice, that is a serious scientific idea. In fact, I got the idea for the story from the scientific papers on the subject.
Your work has made you something of a world citizen. I know you call Sri Lanka your home now, but you do travel extensively.
Not very much now. I leave Sri Lanka normally about a month a year. It takes something rather exceptional like this movie to get me out for more than a month.
Or maybe eventually the Childhood's End project as well.
Well, possibly, but I don't mind people making my movies in Sri Lanka. In fact, my last novel, The Fountains of Paradise, is set in Sri Lanka, and I hope that may be filmed there.
Whirling Wheels, Soft Footfalls of Thought. Arthur C. Clarke, thanks for the trip.
Thank you.
It's been a lot of fun. From Hollywood and the land of 2010, for KCTV5, this is John Tibbetts.